The young and the restless spoilers, the unraveling of Claire's world. Claire had tried to believe in Kyle. She had listened to his promises, his desperate declarations of loyalty, and the oaths he swore to her under the guise of love. But deep down, something gnawed at her, a voice she couldn't silence, a suspicion she couldn't shake. Kyle's behavior had changed, subtle yet unmistakable, and Claire knew better than to ignore her instincts. So she did what she had never done before, she followed him. Quietly, cautiously, she tracked his movements, each step a weight on her heart as she braced herself for what she might find. Still, nothing could have prepared her for the devastating truth she uncovered. The scene of betrayal. It was late evening when Claire found herself outside the dimly lit hotel room. Her breath hitched as she saw Kyle unlock the door, a woman following close behind him. Claire's heart raced, her mind refusing to accept what her eyes were seeing. But there was no mistaking it, the woman was Summer. Summoning every ounce of courage, Claire waited until the door closed behind them before quietly slipping into the room. She hid herself beneath the bed, her heart pounding as the muffled sounds of laughter and conversation filled the air above her. And then she heard it, the unmistakable voices of Kyle and Summer. "I can't keep doing this," Summer said, her voice soft yet firm. "She doesn't deserve this. You need to end things with Claire." Kyle sighed heavily. "I know, Summer. I know. But it's not that simple. I still love her." Claire's heart shattered at those words. The man she thought she knew, the man she had trusted, was sitting mere feet away, professing his love for her even as he shared his bed with another woman. The crushing weight of betrayal. Claire lay motionless beneath the bed, her body trembling as the conversation above continued. "You love her?" Summer scoffed. "If you loved her, you wouldn't be here with me. Harrison and I. We're your family now. You need to make a choice, Kyle." "I just need more time," Kyle said, his voice conflicted. "Claire, she's been through so much. I can't just leave her like this." Summer's voice softened. "I know you care about her, but you can't keep living a lie. Think about us, Kyle. Think about what we could have together." Claire's tears flowed freely as the weight of their betrayal bore down on her. The pain was unlike anything she had ever felt, a deep, searing wound that cut to the very core of her being. But the final blow came not from their words, but from their actions. As Kyle and Summer moved closer, their whispers turning into murmurs of affection, Claire heard the sound of their passion, heard the man she loved giving himself to another woman. Silent tears and quiet resolve. Claire wanted to scream, to confront them, to demand answers for their betrayal. But the humiliation of being discovered hiding beneath the bed like a discarded secret kept her frozen in place. Instead, she clutched her hands over her mouth, muffling her sobs as the tears streamed down her face. She waited. Waited as they whispered sweet nothings to each other, as they drifted into a contented sleep, oblivious to the storm brewing beneath them. And when she was sure they were asleep, Claire finally crawled out from her hiding spot, her movements careful and silent. Standing in the dim light of the room, Claire gazed at the two of them tangled together on the bed. Her pain turned into anger, her heartbreak morphing into a burning rage that consumed her entire being. Kyle had betrayed her. Summer had stolen him. And Claire would not forgive either of them. The explosion of hatred. Claire left the room unnoticed, but she was no longer the same woman who had entered. The betrayal she had witnessed lit a fire within her, a fire of vengeance, of justice, of retribution. Kyle had shattered her trust, torn apart her world, and taken her love for granted. But now, Claire was done crying, done waiting, and done hoping for Kyle to make things right. If he wouldn't end this, then she would. And she would do it in a way neither Kyle nor Summer would ever forget. The plan for revenge. Claire's mind raced as she plotted her next move. She wouldn't act recklessly, she wouldn't stoop to their level. But she would make them pay. She would expose their lies, their betrayal, and their hypocrisy for everyone to see. Summer wanted to be Kyle's family? Let the world see what kind of family they were building, one built on deceit and destruction. But more than that, Claire wanted to ensure that neither Kyle nor Summer would ever underestimate her again. She would show them the strength they had overlooked, the resilience they had dismissed, and the fury they had ignited. A woman transformed Claire had spent too long being the victim, too long letting others dictate the terms of her life. But now, she was done playing by their rules. With every tear she had shed beneath that bed, she had forged a new version of herself, one who wouldn't bow to betrayal, one who wouldn't be silenced by heartbreak. Kyle and Summer had made their choices. Now, it was Claire's turn. And as she walked away from the hotel that night, her heart heavy but her mind clear, she knew one thing for certain: this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. This story captures the raw emotions of betrayal, heartbreak, and the fiery resolve that comes from being wronged. Let me know if you'd like further expansion or adjustments. The warnings that went unheeded. Victor and Victoria had seen it coming long before Claire ever suspected. Their warnings had been clear, firm, and unwavering. Kyle Abbott is not the man you think he is. Don't trust him. Don't build your future around him. To Claire, those words had felt like interference, an unwelcome intrusion into her private life. She had dismissed their advice as cynicism or a misunderstanding of her love for Kyle. She believed she knew him better than anyone else, trusted the version of him she had fallen for. But now, lying awake in the aftermath of betrayal, Claire realized they had been right all along. Kyle Abbott, a man of many faces. Victor, a man who prided himself on his intuition and experience, had made no secret of his disdain for Kyle. "The boy is a chameleon," he had said. "He'll say and do whatever it takes to get what he wants, but the moment he's bored or dissatisfied, he'll move on. Mark my words." Victoria, always direct, had echoed her father's sentiments. "Kyle has a pattern, Claire. He's charming, sure, but his charm is a mask. He doesn't know how to be loyal. Look at his history. He's broken hearts, played games, and left a trail of hurt behind him. Do you really think you'll be the exception?" But Claire, blinded by her feelings, had refused to listen. She believed Kyle could change, that her love was enough to break the cycle. It wasn't. Summer, the other victim. If Claire's pain wasn't enough, the realization that Summer was also a victim added another layer to her heartbreak. Summer, who was now painted as a villain in Claire's mind, had endured her own share of torment at Kyle's hands. Victor and Victoria had tried to explain this to Claire, but she hadn't wanted to hear it. "Summer loved him once, too," Victoria had said gently. "And he took advantage of that love. He made her feel small, insignificant, like she wasn't good enough. She's not your enemy, Claire. She's just another woman who fell for the same lies." Now, as Claire reflected on those words, she felt the bitter sting of truth. Summer wasn't the problem. Kyle was. And Claire had allowed herself to become another chapter in his book of conquests. Letting go. The path to peace. Victor and Victoria had both advised Claire to walk away quietly, to cut her losses and rebuild her life without looking back. "You can't win a battle against someone like Kyle," Victor had warned. "He thrives on chaos. Don't give him the satisfaction of dragging you down." Victoria had been even more direct. "Revenge will only drain you, Claire. You think it'll make you feel better, but it won't. All it'll do is keep you tied to him, to the pain. The best revenge is walking away and finding your own happiness." Their words, though painful to hear, carried wisdom. Claire knew they were right. The idea of revenge burned hot and bright, but it was a fire that would consume her if she let it. And for what? To hurt Kyle the way he had hurt her? To prove a point to someone who would never care enough to understand? It wasn't worth it. A choice to make. Claire sat in silence, her mind torn between anger and sorrow. Part of her wanted to fight, to make Kyle feel even a fraction of the pain he had caused her. But another part, the part that had grown weary from years of heartache, just wanted peace. She thought of Victor and Victoria, their stern advice, their unwavering support, and their genuine concern for her well-being. They had warned her, not out of spite or control, but because they cared. They had seen the storm coming and tried to shield her from it. And now, even in the aftermath, they were offering her a way out. Claire took a deep breath. She didn't need revenge to heal. What she needed was to walk away, to reclaim her dignity and rebuild her life. Kyle could keep his lies, his games, and his hollow promises. Claire was done. Moving forward the next morning, Claire made her decision. She confronted Kyle, not with anger or tears, but with quiet resolve. "I'm done, Kyle," she said, her voice steady. "I loved you. I trusted you. But I won't waste another second on someone who doesn't deserve me. Whatever you have with Summer, it's yours now. I hope you're happy. But I'm moving on." Kyle tried to protest, to apologize, but Claire didn't give him the chance. She walked away, leaving him to deal with the consequences of his actions. Victor and Victoria were waiting for her when she arrived at the Newman estate. Victor, ever the patriarch, simply nodded in approval. Victoria embraced her, offering silent support. They didn't need to say, "I told you so." Claire already knew. And for the first time in weeks, she felt a glimmer of hope. The strength to let go. Claire's journey wasn't over. The pain of betrayal didn't disappear overnight, and the scars Kyle left behind would take time to heal. But by choosing to let go of her anger, Claire had taken the first step toward reclaiming her life. Revenge might have felt satisfying in the moment, but it wouldn't have brought her peace. Walking away with her head held high, that was her true victory. And as Claire looked toward the future, she knew one thing for certain: she deserved better. And she would never settle for less again. This narrative captures the emotional weight of Claire's betrayal, the wisdom of Victor and Victoria, and Claire's ultimate decision to let go and move forward with strength and dignity. Let me know if you'd like further elaboration or adjustments.